Krishna's flute had 7 holes, and every time he played, the rivers forgot to flow. The gopis stopped mid-step. The cows turned toward the sound. Even the wind, it is said, held itself still to listen. But here is the strange part. Krishna never forced a single note. The Bhagavad Gita speaks of surrender, not as weakness, but as the highest form of action. The teaching is this: when the self steps aside, something greater moves through. Not effort, not striving. Something closer to yielding. The flute does not make music by gripping the breath. It makes music by becoming hollow. Or perhaps hollow is not quite the right word. The tradition calls it something closer to empty and ready. In Vrindavan, the cowherd village where Krishna grew up, life was not grand. There were no thrones, no armies, no declarations of power. There was mud on the riverbank, the smell of jasmine at dusk, and a young boy who played a bamboo flute at the edge of the forest. The people who heard it did not analyze the melody. They simply moved toward it, the way a seed moves toward light, without deciding to. The Gita teaches that this is the nature of true action, not the action that comes from the ego's hunger to control, but the action that flows. When we stop insisting, we are the source. Krishna the Divine played. The flute, hollow and simple, allowed it. You have felt this before. A moment when something came through you, not from you. A sentence you wrote that surprised you. A kindness you offered without thinking. A stillness that arrived when you finally stopped trying to be calm. That is the teaching of the flute. 3 things to carry with you. First, effort without surrender is noise. Second, the ego is not the musician. It is the hand that grips the flute too tightly. Third, emptying yourself is not giving up. It is making space for something real to enter. And in that space, everything shifts. This week, notice one moment when you are forcing. A conversation, a decision, a breath held too long. Just notice. Then gently loosen the grip, not to give up, but to allow. That is the practice. Small, quiet, and more powerful than any striving. If this brought you a moment of stillness, subscribe and walk this path with us. The flute did not play itself. It simply stopped resisting the breath that was always already there.